Attention! The movie guys love movies. Any comments made about an elite force of highly skilled teams operating with robotic-like precision in the hopes to bringing pride to the ruins of a struggling, crime-ridden industrialized city are purely for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that right, Sochi Olympic Games?
Gotcha. See, because you thought we were talking about Detroit, and it was a different, ravaged part of the world.
We zigged when they thought we were going to zag.
Old Detroit.
They call it.
See, Robocop is coming out this week.
You see.
They
call it in comedy a reach around or a redirect. What is it?
I think it's
What's
reach
it called?
around.
No, it is a reach
I think
around.
Truth in Comedy calls it a reach around.
Is that what Sharna Halpern called it?
I
When
think
she
it's called a
discussed
reach
at length
around.
the reach around.
Yes.
That's outstanding. I look forward to reading
And
that.
sloppy seconds is when
You go on after Jerry Seinfeld.
You yes and. That's
you
all.
yes and.
Yes,
That's
it's
just
another
sloppy
word.
seconds.
They whittled that down over the years to yes and. It used to be sloppy saying, and then after a while, Del Close was like, I can't say this as much as I want. Hey, welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody. Part of the vast and sprawling movie guys empire. But the shop owner and his son, that's a different story altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes. You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on the show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour plus as we broadcast from the Admirals Club in beautiful downtown Burbank. If you're new to the power of the Movie Showcast, quick housekeeping, then we'll get to the show. You can catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Search the Movie Showcast or the Movie Guys, and we come right up. And don't forget, we're also available on WBAD Radio at WBAD.net Fridays at 4 p.m. Quick couple of words about WBAD. They have tens of thousands of listeners, right? Many who tune into the show.
Yes.
And growing every week. So
Thank
if
you for
you
listening.
head to the site, and it's not Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific,
You can still get it there, right?
you can actually go and get our thoughts and opinions on movies at the new movie blog we have set up at WBAD.net.
Oh.
So our articles and things like that are getting posted up there, reviews and what have you. So check it out. We always have a presence at WBAD.net, and we're happy to be there. Now, as always, please subscribe where possible. Tell your friends, share and like posts and videos and all that stuff at The Movie Guys on Twitter and on Facebook. We are The Movie Guys. Around the horn, that's me, your host, Paul Preston, as well as Adam Witt.
Hello.
Lee Caius, Karen Volpe. Regular Movie Guy is out one more week as she stars in a production of Me and My Girl. Joining us later in the show is a comedian and stand-up comic who has appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, Mad TV, and his recent appearances on the likes of Happy Endings and At Midnight. Matt Braunger will be with
Ding
us.
donger with the Matt Braunger.
He actually has
That's his
another
podcast
distinction. One of the very few stand-up comedians to be on The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing.
I really think fewer men
That's
have
rare.
landed on the moon than have done stand-up on The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With last week's guest, Doug Caro, who was working on that show as well.
Oh, that's right.
You know, they got all the guys who have, when they see each other, they got to do a little sting thing, or nod or whatever. They get that
They were
knowing
there.
glance. You were there. Like people who were in the room.
They'll have a burn on the back of their hand.
Did you know Matt Braunger came from At Midnight to this show? That's where he was right before he recorded.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, we're going to talk to him
Which
later.
I think is the type of show that
it
exists,
is a cool
honestly.
show.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But it's only 8:30
Huh?
at midnight.
Did they play that later?
Wait a minute.
than
So
they
we have
recorded?
Paulie, Adam, and Matt. So this means guiding you through the movie offerings for Valentine's Day will be 4 guys. So there you go. What's new this weekend? We will cover all the new films as February kicks into high gear.
February.
Sing it, Karen.
It just makes me move when I hear that.
Let's talk about the films. It's taking the magic mailbox from the Lake House one step further is a tale.
The Lake
of
House. Now, is that the
Colin
one
Farrell.
with the?
What's that?
Is that the one with Sam Jackson?
That's the Lakeview Terrace.
Okay. So what's the one where Ben Kingsley doesn't want?
Pacific Heights.
Okay.
Right.
No,
Wait, Pacific
that's Michael
Rim.
Keaton.
Right, who was in...
The sand
The
of the
Paper.
beach in the fog.
Okay.
Hope Floats. I think one of them was in Hope Floats.
Colin Farrell's a man who travels through time in a desperate search for the love of his lives in Winter's Tale. And then we flash back to the 80s with not one,
Not 2.
but 3 80s remakes. First up, does love have to be so complicated? Sure it does. If you want to make a movie about it, well, they did. Twice, and they're calling it About Last Night. And Endless Love, finally, you want to wash that Endless Love Winter's Tale and About Last Night out of your mouth. A big gulp of Robocop ought to do it.
He suffered 4th-degree burns over 80% of his body. If he survives, he'll
He
be
could sue
paralyzed
McDonald's
from
for
the
that.
waist down, confined to a wheelchair.
You say you can save him, but what does that mean? What kind of life will he have?
RoboCop. The row is for romantic.
Oh, you don't say. Yummy.
The one thing that could save him is Bowflex. And it just turns into a Bowflex infomercial for like 2 minutes of the trailer.
He's a walking Bowflex machine.
He does have abs, RoboCop. They put
Absolutely.
him in the armor.
Of steel.
Remember when they first did that for Batman's costume? It's like they put abs in there and muscles and whatever. It's like the guy just can't have them anymore.
I thought it was good
Not
the
that
first
Adam
time.
West ever did, but
Because for some reason, we were locked into, oh, well, you got to get a guy with a bunch of muscles to play Batman. And then they would cast Michael Keaton. You're like, whoa, this can't be. And they're like, we're going to put it on the
No, we got it covered. Don't
but
worry.
he can't.
Yeah.
But he can't look like Michael Keaton. He's got to have all the muscles.
Yeah.
He better have muscles. We got it covered. We got a costume.
You
for
seriously
him.
do not want to just mold Michael Keaton's chest and then just cover that in black and make that the thing.
He's a regular guy out there doing regular guy stuff. Except he's
How amazing would
except
that
he's a
be?
millionaire.
How amazing would that be if they had taken Adam West, paunchy Adam West, and like did the whole thing where they put the clay over him so that they could cast his body, and then do a plastic molded rubber version of his actual gut and man titties, and then that's what the costume
And they put
is?
that on Michael Keaton.
Old chum. Their little nod to the original.
in a nod to the original.
Yeah.
Updated by
Well, it's
Tim
all
Burton.
80s remakes, including Winter's Tale, which I know, about last night, Endless Love, and RoboCop were 80s movies. But Winter's Tale is new, but it's based on a book that was written in the 80s. So it counts! 80s Remake Week. And we promised you some RoboCop, so let's lead with some RoboCop. And with Karen out of the studio...
Bitches leave.
Well, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for,
Thank
Clarence
you.
Boddicker.
Clarence Boddicker.
That's Clarence Boddicker. That is not me.
The whole generation is just finding out that the dad from that 70s show was a complete asshole
Yeah, he
in the
was
original
a
RoboCop.
major bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
major bad guy. One of the best.
But, well, Karen, since she's not here, Adam, let's talk about RoboCop.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
The world of
Shining at
tomorrow.
the end of every day.
Who's ready to be disappointed? Because a new RoboCop is in theaters near you, and the only difference between this one and the original RoboCop is this one's completely unnecessary.
When a coalition of film archivists discovered that the original RoboCop contained no digital effects, a crack team of film restoration experts went to work restoring the film to meet the needs of modern teens, taking out all of the flaws in the original, down to the plotline and cast. Now finally, we can see a restored version of RoboCop so clean you'd swear it was a different movie.
It's a reboot, Adam. It's not the old movie redone. It's a whole new movie.
Oh, can I get a second read on that then?
No. We have 4 movies to get to. Not enough time. RoboCop has been updated and remade because it's a thing, and that's what happens to things. The movie has been given a facelift. I mean, literally, because now the RoboCop faceplate actually lifts up. This way, we can see more of whoever the guy is who plays him.
RoboCop 4, we'll call it, is given a CGI facelift as well.
You know, for kids.
So that RoboCop can finally fight hundreds of RoboCops. Now, I understand replacing practical effects, but why is manic sensory assault always a byproduct? Can't they vent that out in the cooling process?
RoboCop 4 tells the same story as RoboCop about a half-man, half-robot crime fighter that cleans up the streets of a futuristic city, except they found no digital replacement for the original's beloved trademark cynicism, replacing it instead with sincerity.
Oh.
And isn't sincerity what we all hate about CGI to begin with?
This is another one of those trailers that really makes you want to see the movie if for no other reason than to see just how on earth they can string together so many explosions into the plot of a single movie.
This movie takes place in some sort of utopian future, either dis or you, depending upon whether you think Samuel L. Jackson as Tony Stark is a good thing or not.
Oh, that's right!
That's right.
Samuel L. Jackson is in this. I see, so it looks like even though they've gone all Batman with RoboCop's new sleek black suit, they've certainly gone Dark Knight with the casting, filling the supporting roles with high-end talent like Jackson and Gary Oldman.
And Michael Keaton, leaving us wondering what other remakes might be around the corner.
It's an 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools.
Of course, from Johnny Dangerously. Yes. Oh, and I just looked this up, Adam. Here we go.
Oh.
Joel Kinnaman plays RoboCop.
Oh, Joel Kinnaman from
shit, I don't know. Go on.
Okay.
I thought I
Anyway.
had something there.
So, with its proven source material and high pedigree, the question remains, why isn't this a summer release?
That awkward moment.
I have no answer for that.
For show complete.
Now,
a joke from last week.
2 weeks ago. Studios remake these movies because they have an image of the American public, and it sounds like this.
I'd buy that for $1.
But the question on your mind is probably, what's the Valentine's Day message of RoboCop?
Well, a man is so in love with his wife that not even death can keep them apart.
No, it's that chicks love a man in uniform, especially if he has abs of steel.
There you go. And they're actual steel. Iron or
What?
whatever.
Oscar potential movie will I pass up to see this piece of shit this weekend?
I know. You have
Will I pass up 12 Years a Slave? Will I pass up Her?
Gravity
Gravity again?
to see this. Do you
I
think,
mean-
it, think it has a chance of being like another? Because I know you're a big fan of Dread, which I've yet to see.
Yeah.
And that's bad on me. I saw instead Dallas Buyers Club. I'm crazy.
Okay.
But
Well, that's me.
now Dread though. Do you think this could be another Dread, or is it just not going to be it? Which looked bad, but you said was great.
Yeah, well, Dredd had this like this rocket fire point of view about it. It just fires like a bullet through the plot line of that movie and just sort of shreds it with confidence. This movie, I don't know if it looks that confident. It's weird because the elements, I can't tell quite what they've taken from the original and sort of juggled it. But there's a weird thing in the trailer that makes me feel really fearful, because why would you feature this in the trailer unless it's like a big deal? Is we're going to make a lot of money. There's like this whole marketing thing. Like Michael Keaton's like a advertising guy, like at the beginning of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, going, how about black? Maybe this, maybe that, and you're like, this is the. I mean, I know Omni Consumer Products is supposed to be this sort of cynical sort of thing, but like the advertising angle on it, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Right? I mean, that was like a cynical comment on the sort of greedy '80s and all the weapons of the '80s and stuff like that. In the first one, I don't know that it was like the military applications. Even if it shoots a guy in the office, that's like a political comment of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this one.
Yeah.
It's just saying, I'm thinking long and hard about whether it should be black.
Do you think they'll do more a human side of RoboCop in this?
Well, that's actually a difference I've read, right?
I noticed in the trailer he's got the family. I'm like, well, we got to go back to the family at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
see what he becomes. Plus, it's cast as Abby Cornish, right? Who's a name-ish of sorts, so she's got to show up again, right? She can't just like become RoboCop and then you don't see the wife again.
Yeah, exactly. I really want to tell you something. That's the one that keeps flashing back to me.
How is this a reboot, though? It's the exact same story. It's a guy who gets burned up.
Well, like Batman
turned
Begins was a reboot, I suppose. We're doing the
Yeah, I
same
mean,
shit.
that's what a reboot does, right?
Well, I thought it gave something new or different, a different angle, a slightly.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Well, that's a
This is a
good
remake.
question.
It's
What is
just
the
give you the
difference
same shit.
between reboot and remake?
Well,
right?
reboot
it can't
kinda,
be the same thing.
Yeah, reboot kind of resets the paradigm in which the movie exists and gives you some new characters and new rules and
Well,
new
that's true.
places, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
That's a reboot.
This is just a remake.
This is just
kind
a
of.
remake.
Yeah.
Well, who said it's what? Or
Well,
one or the
earlier
other?
we said it was.
We did. Well, we don't know anything.
What do we know?
Oh, you know what? This is actually a
I'm
comment.
just trying to do dick jokes.
Who said that?
But we had a good conversation about RoboCop, and that people are like, why do you have to remake the first RoboCop? And he says what people don't realize is there's RoboCop 2, 3, the TV show, the cartoon. I mean, you're wiping a big board actually away. You're not just wiping that first one off. You're kind of wiping the slate.
The one where he fights ninjas, we can forget that. now.
Yeah, we're wiping a
Yeah.
big slate here. So anyway, that was a point that Braunger made that I thought was pretty.
But it does feel like just a remake of the original, because it's a defense team that says,
Except without any personality.
well,
That doesn't
you know,
seem-
That's true too.
personality
They took
there?
some stuff out.
It's not
so
a
I don't
beat
know
for
what is
beat.
that now. If it's not a reboot or what is it if you don't do it? If you take some stuff out
you
of the
take it,
original,
you make it not as good.
yeah, it's a recrapping.
Anyway. Well, you know what a reboot is, kind of, because you know what was a perfect reboot was Casino Royale. So there's all the trappings and things you love of the original, and now we're going to watch how that all comes. And we know how it ends. We know how it all comes together. We know there's a batarang. We know there's a costume. But we get to watch all that sort of come about and get to watch it be built like James Bond or Batman. I think that's more of like the reboot. Or Superman.
This is a remake.
It's a reboot.
The remake,
yeah, this is a remake.
It's a remake. All right, we figured that
There's
out.
no point where we're like, when are they going to have the gun in the hip? No, he's just going to have it.
Well, here's something I would like. Here was something I would like them to do that they didn't do in the first one, and you had made a note of this. Why is he never shot in the face?
Shoot him in the lips. That's what I say.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that showed up, right?
he's
Go
got
right for
armor
the lips.
everywhere. That's where I would shoot first.
Hey, boys,
Still-
aim for the lips.
Still, with bullets bouncing off of him, I'd just shoot that guy right in the mouth.
Shoot him in the chest. Shoot him more in the chest. Shoot him more in the chest.
It's not working. Try again.
Hey, and I think the big question on this one is, yes, the cynicism is kind of gone in terms of those commercials and stuff, and which we really think is the bite of the original RoboCop. Which, that's what really
all that
gave
big
it
satire.
a ton of personality. I mean, the killing the guy in the office, the Ed 209, that's huge satire. Dick, you're fired is huge satire. It's like corporate sort of thing. But the biggest thing about it, and one of the greatest cinematic villains of all time is Clarence Boddicker, right? Up there with the Hans and the Terminator and everything. That's Clarence Boddicker is one badass. And it looks like it's Jackie or Haley in this
It
one.
looks that way from the trailer.
It looks kind of like a Boddicker type. But if they drop the ball on trying to bring a badass group of villains in, if they don't even go there, it's like, you really have forgotten the spirit
you
of
may
the
have mentioned
original.
that he fights other robots. Like, I hope he doesn't do that for long.
Yeah, that looks like a training thing. I don't know. There is a scene where he shoots a bunch of robots because you have to have a bunch of things.
You know what else is missing from this trailer? Bwong.
Oh.
We didn't have a whole lot of bwong.
Did it
during
have
the holidays.
slowdown guy?
Here's what we have. Well, I think it has that. Slowdown guy.
Slow down. Has everything but belong.
Sweet.
Look at that. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's a movie trailer.
Yeah.
Like, a guy from 1980 would be like, what? But it's more of like a squang, or I don't know what that is. But if it catches on, we'll have to... If the catch is on, we'll have to incorrectly name it.
We should classify these. You guys start collecting these, and we'll classify these like a phylum.
The stutter drop.
Yeah, the stutter,
The slowdown.
The slow
I
down.
do like the
Slowdown.
slowdown. I think we'll go with that
the
one.
gun in Jello.
And last interesting note: the original RoboCop was envisioning a future that was the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Old Detroit was like the new Detroit they were building was going to be by what? 19...
Yeah, they nailed Detroit. They got that right.
Yeah.
Everything else, though.
They did predict that pretty right, didn't they?
Now, can this one adrenaline-fueled action pick beat all the romance in the air that's otherwise at Cineplexes this weekend? A time usually reserved for the likes of The Vow and He's Just Not That Into You? Well, expecting big things, Hollywood is already moving forward with more robo-based features.
Oh.
Figuring it's the robo part that brings you in, regardless of what position the half-man, half-robot has in society. So look for these films coming to theaters in the near future. This is amazing that they have this. Robo Chess Expert.
Oh.
Here's a short clip.
Your move, creep.
Oh, well, that makes sense
Yeah.
for
I guess
chess
he just-
experts.
Just talks, just defends everybody he plays with. What else we got?
Robo Librarian. Please keep quiet, or there'll be trouble. And I should let you know we've blocked all porn sites on the library computers, so you can no longer watch XXX buttholes. Please resume your job search for bus driver jobs on monster.com. Thank you.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, that's a great clip.
Good night.
That's a great clip. What else do we have here? Oh, they're going to make
Ready.
Robo Protester.
Trouble.
Robo Protester.
How would that go?
Let's play a little clip of that. I'll show you how it goes.
Play that movie.
I am programmed to hate numerous races, ages, corporations, and sexes, and I will carry a sign at whatever funeral you program me to attend.
Well, what happens if I program you to protest RoboCops?
There you go. That's what happens.
That was my opportunity to do my Michael Keaton, right? I haven't perfected my Michael Keaton impersonation.
No one's
yet.
perfected a Michael Keaton.
Damn it. I'm going to work on that.
I heard there's...
I think I have my Tim Burton down.
Is that Tim Burton?
That's how people sound from Burbank?
I think so.
All right.
I think there's actually another one
like a really
that
good
Current TV is going to release a series of films. One of them is going to be called Robo Barista.
Oh.
Let's take a listen to that here.
Okay.
Regular or decaf, you are ordering next. And I can get you the Wi-Fi password if you'd like. please be sure to check out these free iTunes downloads of our local musicians.
I'll have a decaf coffee.
I'll have a decaf espresso.
I'll have a double decaf cappuccino.
Do you have any decaffeinated coffee ice cream?
I'll have a half double decaffeinated half cap with a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon. I'll have a twist of lemon, please.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
No fruity drinks, I guess.
Your reference, creep.
They got one more coming out, right?
Do they?
They do.
What else?
Yeah, well, I have the official press release.
What else?
Direct from Hollywood.
What could it be?
It could be Robo Day Laborer.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
Let's hear a clip of that.
Servir a la confianza del público, proteger les inocentes, poder los cietos.
English, please.
Oh. Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, prune the hedges, and I promise I won't use the bathroom or masturbate to your wife while installing sheetrock. Good night. We killed you!
That is a problem we have.
There.
The masturbating sheetrock layer.
Well, it's solved in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
The
anyone
future
who
has solved that problem.
Anyone who's laid
All right, listen, we
sheetrock.
can't get comfy in our RoboCopiness. Big movie weekend, lots to cover.
Oh, there's more movies?
Ladies, you want to wash that RoboCop right out of your mouth? Well, Winter's Tale is here to get the job done. It stars Academy Award winner Russell Crowe, Academy Award winner Jennifer Connelly, Academy Award winner William Hurt, Academy Award winner Eva Marie Saint, and Colin Farrell. Lee?
Paul's favorite joke. I love it.
If you're excited for a movie, and any movie will do, then you might like Winter's Tale. It's the story of Leontes, the king of Sicily, who convinces himself that his pregnant wife is carrying his best friend's love child. Leontes' jealousy turns to tyranny as the king proceeds to destroy his entire family and a lifelong friendship, but it's a comedy, yes.
Paul, that's the Winter's Tale, the Shakespeare's play.
This isn't that?
No.
Why would you name your movie the same name as a famous Shakespeare play if you're not telling Shakespeare's story? Is it a true story and they couldn't change the name of the title because the guy's name is Winter or something?
Now, the trailer for this movie literally contains the words, "This is not a true story."
What? Then this isn't even a real movie?
Hold on, Paul. It is based on a book.
Okay, then continue.
The Winter's Tale tells a magical story of love that
A
takes...
Winter's Tale.
A
not
Winter's
the
Tale.
Winter's Tale.
Or just
no,
Winter's.
Winter's Tale.
Winter's Tale.
Just so you know, it's not Shakespeare's story.
Or A Winter's Tale.
No, A Winter's Tale is not a thing.
Is not a thing. That's right. This is not either of those
They
things.
should have called it that. They could have called it
A
that.
Winter's
They
Tale.
still failed. All
Winter's Tale tells a magical story of love that takes place simultaneously in present day and 1916.
Ooh, fancy.
Now, I personally was so taken by this story that I meticulously looked up every single detail for this preview in order to make sure that I got the plot completely accurate.
Thank God somebody did.
So, the story begins with Leela Goodtits, played by TV's Jordana Jordan, who finds a mysterious Hoot Stottlemyre, plays by a guy named Guy Establishment, hidden in her magic pantry stealing crumpets. Now, they fall in love, but soon discover the magical power of the pantry can send them to the future, all the way to 2014, where the pantry rents for $4,000 a month. Now, they would be home free if it weren't for Jarrell Angry Man, who's going to magic them back to the past by throwing them off a bridge. Go ahead, watch the trailer, see how far off I am.
Well, thank God they say not a true story, or I might have believed everything you just said to be events that actually happened once.
Well, the truth is, Colin Farrell plays a burglar who falls for an heiress whose home he's burglaring. Although these are exceptionally rapey circumstances, they end up falling in love, but it turns out she's dying.
Oh my God, she's the perfect woman. Smart, pretty, rich, and she'll be dead in a year.
Then he uses reincarnation to show up in New York City in the future, where he searches for the long-deceased love of his life. Colin Farrell aimlessly ambling around modern-day New York City? Yeah, he'll be good at that.
But he can't possibly be in 2014 looking for her, because there's a clip where he tracks her down using magic and microfiche at the library.
Paul, microfiche was a form of microfilm used to store and preserve considerable numbers of pages of printed text and photos in reduced form. The now not often used format, usually the size of a filing card, was often found at the local library. The local library was a building in every village that held books, which were like little iPads.
I understand. I think we've reached our young listeners. Thank you, Adam.
Now, this is one of those rare movies that comes along once a year that exists only on hope. It's a movie as long as we believe it is. If we believe the plot makes sense and the characters are compelling, it will be there on the big screen. But if even one of the audience members loses faith, the movie will just be a shitty February release.
Alongside Irishman Colin Farrell is Australian Russell Crowe, who plays an Irishman.
Making sense. Written by Akiva Goldsman, who's also making his directorial debut. Akiva Goldsman is the Oscar-winning screenwriter of A Beautiful Mind, but will also forever be the writer of Batman and Robin, which I'm sure he is hoping is something we're going to forget. But all I can say is, not this week, Akiva.
Not to be confused with Frozen or Winter's Bone or Dolphin Tale. Remember, the title is Winter's Tale. I'm sure everyone in Atlanta is all excited to go out and see it this weekend.
But the question on your mind is probably, what is the Valentine's Day message of Winter's Tale?
Not even time and space will yield to the pursuit of true love?
No, Paul, the real Valentine's Day message is that ladies love Colin Farrell.
Oh, yes, they do. Winter's Tale. He's got nudie videos out there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does with some... have you seen that? With like a complete hooker in a most depressing Hollywood apartment. I'm pretty sure I lived in that apartment, the one that was was filled in.
That's like on Yucca.
It was totally on Yucca. If you've ever
Yucca
seen
Corridor, which I found out that area is called.
Is that what
the
it is?
Yucca Corridor?
Oh, that
which is more depressing.
Between Hollywood and that kind of winds up there in the dark.
Yeah, like up there around Franklin or whatever, that just goes from one side to another, where Ed Wood used to live, I found out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yucca Corridor.
If you've
where you
ever,
living? Yucca Corridor.
If you've ever lived in Hollywood and have been a struggling anything, you lived in the apartment that Colin had sex with that woman in. It's the quintessential Hollywood.
It also looked like the apartment where, just to compare sex tapes, what's his face peed on that girl, right?
What?
R. Kelly?
R. Kelly. It kind of looks like the same apartment. I think there's one apartment where they pee on girls and stuff.
This is where they go for that.
Yeah.
They figure the mattress is a wreck already. Come on,
they rent it out by the hour.
Celebrities only.
But I am not going to see this movie, in case you were asking.
Nobody's going to see this movie.
Oh, God.
Who gives a shit about this movie?
Jamie, who is not here today, will not be here for a while.
She's not here because
It's a
she's
shame.
seeing this?
No. No, she's just off the show for about a month. Will be back. But she wanted to be here simply because there's no female voice to get behind some of these romantic movies. She says the book is great and she's looking forward to seeing it.
If she's not here, how will I be in disbelief of how good season 3 of Sherlock is? Because you guys haven't seen it.
Well, this. Oh, I should also say, editor's note here. Let's not forget, Akiva Goldsman also wrote Cinderella Man.
Oh, he wrote that one? That's
and produced Jonah Hex.
It's a Russell
So
Crowe
he's
movie.
kind of. You can go either way with that guy.
Yeah.
I always thought it was Akiva Goldsmith. Is there an Akiva Goldsmith running around somewhere?
There aren't a lot of Akivas.
There's a Jerry Goldsmith.
There's a Jerry Goldsmith. That's true.
Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah, I guess I got my Goldsmans, not my Akivas mixed up.
No.
Because there's only one.
There's a sandal, the Tiva sandals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's something else, too.
Tiva sandals, that's just one of the things we'd rather discuss than this movie. Continue.
TiVo? Should we talk about
Cinderella
TiVo?
Man. How was Cinderella Man?
Cinderella Man's a
Speaking
great
of
movie.
Winter's Tale, how was Cinderella Man?
It's quite a feat to take an underdog boxing story and make it fresh and exciting. You know, but it wasn't all in the script. It was just a real. I don't know how Ron Howard pulls it off.
A confidence game.
Yeah.
Confidence
Here's a
game.
Depression era story about a guy. You know, and we're practically.
You're like,
in a
how did they do
depression
that?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Winter's
Goldsman
Tale.
also wrote The Client. So.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
All right, The Client's not bad.
Is it not bad?
It's not bad. Have you seen it?
That was never good. You're thinking of
Never bad. Tommy Lee Jones, right?
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon.
You're thinking of the ones made before that.
No.
Okay.
No, they were
Because they made like
Grisham
who's it?
movies?
Grisham, right? The Grisham era of filmmaking. They made like 20 Grisham movies.
You're thinking of Pelican
There's
Brief.
3 good ones. Yeah.
Right? You're thinking, isn't that Grisham?
No, The
Pelican
Client.
Brief,
The
and
Client's the
The
good
Chamber,
one. We all know,
Rainmaker,
right?
yeah.
But The Chamber. Have you seen The Chamber? That's the Ron Howard one.
I never saw that one.
The Rainmaker's the Coppola one.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? All these dumb Grisham novels got made by all these artists, and nobody watches any of them.
I remember A Time to Kill, and that was
But
a
The
good one.
Firm.
And that was Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was the debut of Matthew McConaughey.
It was, and I thought, hey man, he's going to do a whole lot of this, and then he didn't.
I mean, the Hollywood debut. 'cause he was
Speaking
already
though-
Thank God
in-
he's back.
Speaking of lawyerly movies, I just saw the trailer for The Counselor now on DVD.
Counselor?
You know The Counselor?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like a great movie.
Oh, the trailer makes it look awesome.
Well, it's a different trailer than we saw for the release of the film. The release of the DVD trailer is like, fuck yeah, I want to see this shooting up, suspense-thrilled, sexy movie. Before it was just slow motion breezes at a pool or something.
Yeah, somebody told me that movie makes egregiously makes so little sense that it's like get high, kick back, pretend you're watching a David Lynch film, and just kind of enjoy it. Like it's a mess, but it's kind of a fun mess.
Well, I was just curious why this wasn't the trailer they used to sell the movie in
isn't
the
that
theater.
weird?
This is such a better sell on the movie.
Winter's Tale is 2 trailers too.
Yeah, 2 different
Yeah,
movies.
but they happen at the same time.
That's true. They both came out now.
No. The 2 trailers are happening at the same time in the same trailer. It's like, what movie am I watching in the same trailer, right? Because there's there's the first half of that trailer is one movie, and the second half of the trailer is the second movie. They should have parsed those out.
One looks
as well.
exciting, one looks romantic. They're like Valentine's Day. We got to get the guy and the girl into the theater.
I'm getting the whistle from the ref. This is the maximum amount of time anybody's allowed to talk about A Winter's Tale ever.
Before we get to
we've
our next
maxed
film,
out.
quick word about Pro Flowers. No doubt, with all this talk of romantic movies right now, you're remembering.
Now that's the one's better than the amateur flowers because people died.
If you have amateur flowers, it sucks. It defines the word.
People
suck.
can get hurt.
Go to WBAD.net where we have our show. And there's a Pro Flowers link right on there, and you can click on that, take care of everything you need to flower-wise for Valentine's Day.
Gonna order them anyway.
And and that's how to get that done and get something for your loved one for Valentine's Day. So, and it helps WBAD.net out, who put our show on every week.
Yeah, I know.
So, especially if you're
Goodness
listening to us
listeners.
on there, go on the site and click the thing.
It's a listenable show, right?
You clicked on the box that said, click here to listen to station, right, at WBAD. Click on the box that said Pro Flowers.
That is the exact same amount of effort as it takes to click on something else.
Don't be
on the
one of those
page.
guys getting off-ramp flowers.
Yeah, right?
Off-ramp flowers on the day.
baskets of whatever.
They're going to contain fruit flies, and they're going to kill everything in your house.
Probably going to be a tennis ball in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, or a golf ball. I
Or a
got
human hand.
Yeah, a fingernail at least. I got some off-ramp flowers once, and there was a Titleist in the bottom of the thing. I'm like, how did this end up in my, because they have them packaged and you don't know it, and you go home and you open it up and a fucking Titleist rolls across the counter.
That's because it's the same bucket they use to go poach balls at the driving range.
He got
This
his
is
jobs
clearly
mixed
the
up.
work of amateur flowers.
Don't go amateurs. See? All these things that happen.
All right, I'm getting a note that that's all we can talk about Pro Flowers. All right. We apparently...
They've requested it.
yeah. Now listen, have you had enough Kevin Hart? Well, Hollywood begs to differ. Our next film this week features Hart and has a screenplay based on another screenplay. So it says right there in the credits. Adam, let's talk about Last Night.
Thinking about last night.
Yeah. Like Black Nativity this Christmas or Black Transformers 2 summers ago.
Hey, Mudflat, what are we gonna do with this shrimp taco?
No, just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, I mean.
Yeah, not in my trunk.
About Last Night is a project that originated with a white cast, but has been remade with more diversity to appeal to a whole new demographic.
It's the Blackula of movies that used to star Rob Lowe.
Perhaps we're all one step closer to Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of an all-black St. Elmo's fire.
Now, why would you need to remake About Last Night? We all remember About Last Night with is it Phoebe Cates?
Demi Moore.
Same difference that year. Demi Moore and Emilio Estevez?
Rob Lowe.
Whatever. The point is, we all remember the original. And like the original About Last Night, this one will be forgotten pretty quickly. That was what was so classic about sex comedies from the 80s. They were disposable.
Yep.
That's the one thing I think they're nailing here.
Of course they're remaking a 30-something sex comedy from 1986, in some part because the special effects in the original were just so terrible.
Yeah, now they have a chance to computer generate the more believable and blacker Jim Belushi that Edward Zwick wanted with the 1986 original, but the technology was just not available.
No. It's an all-black cast, so get ready for some crazy names, all right? Here we go. About Last Night stars Kevin Hart. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Kevin Hart? Is it a hard T? Okay, all right. And then there's Michael. Is it Michael? Am I even saying that right? Michael Ely? I don't even know. This is Joy Bryant. Joy like in happy? That's an insane name. All right. And Terrell Owens, whose name sounds like a football player. Typical. Am I right?
Am I right, people? That's right, it does star Kevin Hart, Adam, who's fast becoming the Natalie Portman of 2014. This film is timed to add to his Black History Month legend.
The original About Last Night was set in Chicago and starred Rob Lowe and Jim Belushi as, respectively, the thin, handsome guy and slightly dumpy, funny guy. This time around, it's set in L.A. with Michael Ealy and Kevin Hart, because legally no one in L.A. can be fat.
Audiences may remember Michael Ealy, Kevin Hart, and Regina Hall were together in the film Think Like a Man. Then again, audiences may also remember they left their iPhone charging at home.
Will we see an all-Hispanic cast of this next, perhaps the Bollywood version, or a bunch of Japanese actors taking this on? One day, I believe, About Last Night will be like The Office, where every country has their own.
Now, the story can be told and played by anyone, so why not a multiracial cast to start with? If a handful of Twitter users are outraged over a Coca-Cola commercial, surely the rest of America won't care if the girlfriend is black, the guy is white, his friend is Asian, and her friend is Lithuanian. Just don't set it in Wyoming, because that suspension of disbelief is way too high.
This movie is in part produced by Screen Gems, which has long stood as the high mark of highbrow, cutting-edge comedy in film and television.
Oh, and the Three Stooges also. Well,
they've been around for a while, I guess.
But the question on your mind is probably, what's the Valentine's Day message of About Last Night?
When it comes to affairs of the heart, just as special as a loved one in your arms is a true friend by your side, right?
Right. Yeah, well, everything you said, just black.
Oh.
There we go. That's About Last Night.
Was everything we just said, horrible? Or was it just good-natured, right?
No, that was
I mean, I think we set the tone with it's the Blackula of movies that used to star Rob Lowe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Right. I mean, are you guys? Do you think Kevin Hart is funny?
Yes, I do. I don't know if he's funny in this.
Jury's out for you still?
Yeah, he always comes across as trying too hard. His material isn't as funny as it could be, so he's really going to sell me on...
Now, is this in stand-up or in movies?
Just everything I see him do.
Everything, huh?
Yeah, just when he's on a late-night panel, when he's doing stand-up, when he's in a movie, he's just working so hard to force this humor on me.
And the one thing I'll say about that is much like I always say, the sort of Vince Vaughn thing where he's working his ass off to make the material better than it is, which I guess is an actor's job really in general.
But his stand-up is his material, so he has to work to make his own material funnier.
What I can't tell yet about Kevin Hart, if he's working his ass off so that this maybe lackluster script is given a lot more personality, or if he just locks into this almost Chris Tucker thing and that's just his thing, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that for me. But at the same time, I really enjoy watching him. I don't know if I ever laugh out loud at anything he does or says, but I enjoy watching him. He's kind of like Spalding Gray, right? He's a humorist. You're not gonna really.
That's how you describe Kevin Hart.
Yeah, well, it's like Garrison Keillor. He says amusing things. You're not gonna laugh out loud, but you kind of I get it.
I have laughed out loud at his stand-up,
Yeah.
but in movies, he's still got to win me over. It's kind of like Chris Rock, who is hilarious as a stand-up. In the movies, I mean, what's a great Chris Rock movie? There's
New Jack City.
Oh, New Jack City. I'll give you that. You're totally right.
That's
about
the
that.
only one, right?
See, and I'm going to get you sucker.
Pookie. He plays Pookie.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
How about just one McNugget?
One rib.
One rib.
What about some 80s movies that they will never remake? We've done 3 this week, which is a record, by the way. The last time we covered 80s movies being remade in the same week was 2 with the A-Team Karate Kid double feature from a few
Before we get to
years.
that, About Last Night is
memory.
Demi Moore's Bush movie, right?
Yeah, About Last Night?
Yeah, that's the one where Big Bush.
Not as big as that spread she had in the penthouse or whatever, but yeah.
Right, but this was the movie that
I think
we
she's
remembered.
naked in it. Yeah, she and Rob Lowe were running around the apartment naked.
Oh boy, that was a good Demi Moore too, right?
Yeah.
That was the Demi Moore.
That was very Demi Moore.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
But hey, we got one more to talk about this week, and we're going to bring in Matt Braunger after the break here to talk about Endless Love. And I'll tell you the title now because I'm sure you'll forget. But I want to also talk about that movie. You may have noticed what I did in the trailer, and that's a Florence and the Machine version of Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love. That's just creepy. This isn't the trailer for Endless Love, this creepy version of an 80s song. I just thought the creepy songs were reserved for horror movies, right? I mean, we've seen it in The Last Exorcism and things like that. So is Endless Love a horror movie? It looks that way.
Yeah. Oh, it could easily go that way.
I mean, I think it's
the trailer.
Yeah, it's a forbidden love story, but it kind of looks like someone's going to die.
And you don't know when you're first watching the trailer. You're like, oh, is this does this end in murder?
Yeah, until you hear this.
The lights are on.
Yeah, come on.
right, David.
What about your future plans?
I don't need much. Just a nice girl to come home to.
But you're not home.
Yeah, that's Robert Palmer made creepy, just like they made this creepy in Insidious 2. Remember this? Creepy.
There's nothing more sacrilegious than taking a standard and making it satanic.
Well, I gotta
that's
be
a
honest.
horror movie.
Yeah, the idea of seeing Endless Love scares the hell out of me. So,
Yeah, that's right.
you know.
That music,
not in.
creepy, right? What's next? A whole creepy album?
Oh.
That's right, Paul. The movie Showcast is proud to welcome its newest sponsor, Creepy Hits of the 80s, available only on album. Click the link on themovieguys.net to order your copy today and get the hits like
Don't worry. Be happy.
Oh, that is creepy.
and
Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh.
and of course,
Creepy.
who could forget?
Time can never mend the careless whisper of a good friend.
That's right, Creepy Hits of the 80s. Order now and get a bonus track.
That's the creepiest one.
Oh,
yet.
my God.
That's the
Turn it
creepiest
off.
one. Oh, good Lord.
I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm
All
not
right,
even going to
that's-
be able to shower
So yeah, just like
later.
you go to the ProFlowers link on WBAD.net, go to the creepy 80s music link and order yourself a copy of that for
I'm trying
Valentine's
to figure out
Day
if we're
as
being
well.
murdered or falling in love.
Yeah, so that's it. We're going to take a small break here, and we'll be back with our guest, Matt Braunger, and talk about Endless Love and
Very
any movies he's
exciting.
seen and everything going on with him. Hang on, we'll be back in 10 seconds. 10 seconds!
Poof, he's here if you're watching the YouTube video.
And we are back, everybody, with our special guest of the day. As I mentioned before, he's been on Late Night with David Letterman. We'll find out all the cool places he's been on TV and Mad TV and all sorts of madness. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Matt Braunger.
Mr. Braunger, live in studio.
Thanks, everybody.
Matt, good to have you here.
And by everybody, you mean Adam and I.
Yeah, and your millions of listeners.
Well,
That's right.
Please. Thank you.
yes.
I told him how many there are.
I want to lead with the question we ask everybody who comes on the show.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
If I have to pick one, it would be Untouchables. Whoops, Freudian slip. No,
We already know that that's the
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
actually-
Untouchables must be close, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if it's close, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
You actually got that wrong, only based on the fact that we know beforehand that Goodfellas was the one you wanted
Yeah,
to
you
say.
asked me before.
I
Was that
peeked.
right? You guys
It was
talked
so-
I
about-
peeked.
Sorry, there was some pressure on there.
Yeah.
You didn't talk to me beforehand. You guys are everybody.
Now, here's a question. As a Goodfellas fan, have you seen American Hustle?
Yes, I have.
Okay, now, so the gripe about that is that it's kind of Scorsese light, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
But that version of Scorsese, we don't get that anymore. So,
No, yeah.
isn't that a viable
It's so
genre that
much-
can be done
it's
now?
so much like Hugo.
It's just exactly like
Close your eyes; they're exactly the same.
No, I mean it's just the way that Goodfellas moves.
Yeah.
You know, like it just the cuts and how it just it keeps the story going. It's like I could see the American Hustle thing a little bit, but not in that sense.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a little more draggy. It
Yes.
didn't
Yes.
deftly move from one thing to another and carry you along with it.
That's not your plane, is it?
No,
Matt's
that's
got to catch the plane.
Matt's got to catch a plane, and that's probably made him pretty nervous.
Now, the thing I noticed about those two movies were there's no score, I don't think. I think it's all songs.
All songs.
The whole
Songs, yes.
drive the movie,
You're
both
right.
those movies.
No, I think there is a score.
For American Hustle?
Goodfellas 1, American Hustle 0.
That's the score.
That's the score.
That's the score.
See what I did?
Always a close
Matt,
game.
I can't slap him from here.
No, see, you've said it. You set it up exactly perfect.
I know, you're closest.
I deleted the drum out of his phone, so luckily we don't have that anymore.
I usually have that right in my hip pocket.
Did you see The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, I did.
Similar sort of, I think, well, maybe not entirely similar editing style because
Yes.
the story requires something different. But that 3 hours, to me,
Oh yeah,
flew.
No,
because
incredibly entertaining movie. Yeah.
It's like
when it
Animal House.
opens with a woman bending over, it's all you've got me from the word go.
Sure.
And he's blowing coke off her.
Yeah.
My only thing is like when I watched Goodfellas. I mean, not to say like obviously Goodfellas is a far superior movie, but like when I watched Goodfellas, as soon as I got into Henry Hill, who pretty virulently immoral person.
Yeah.
I cared about him. And not even that I liked him. I cared about what happened to him. I didn't care about what happened to anyone in Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I didn't care if they died in a fire or they went to a picnic. It was entertaining, but there's no investment from my perspective. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, you're right. I saw it as Animal House. I was like, it's an Animal House. I shouldn't be. I'm as invested in this movie as I am anybody in Animal House.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care how D-Day ends up after the movie.
Except Animal House, people were funny. Like people were funny in Wolf of Wall Street, like Jonah Hill's character, entertaining. But Animal House, you're like, hey, these are funny guys. Like,
you don't want to hang out with them. You don't want to hang out with the guys.
No.
I don't want to do coke and have sex with strippers, like in someone's office while everyone just stands around with their shirt tails out. Like,
it's weird, isn't it? Like
so disturbing.
Okay, I'm going to bring up an old topic we brought up, I think, 2 weeks ago.
It is weird, though.
It is weird.
Yes.
Have you ever done the sex with someone else having sex in the room? Because I'm telling you, exposed cock in the same room with me, I'm out.
No thanks. It's not a casual thing for me. Had casual sex, but not like, oh yeah, hey, it's fine. It's be over in a second.
You do her, I'll do her, and
right.
this will be great.
This is great.
Clinking beers.
Doesn't make me feel sad as an individual in the universe right now.
And where's the love?
Well, for me, it's like they treat it like fast food, and for me, In and Out is an event.
Yes,
I got to sit down and focus,
work it up.
That's like sex. I can't just breeze through this on my way to the movies in the car or doing something else.
It's not just McDonald's. You just
exactly.
stop by In and Out.
Sit down with my double.
Yeah, if I
which is my famous move, by the way.
Nice
double.
That's in the secret menu. I've never heard that. I've had one of those ice cold Cokes. Is what I don't know if you had that.
The
asked for that.
The ladies like
I can't even describe what the flavor is. It's kind of a fizzy thing. It's like water, but sweet.
But I do want to bring
on the
up one of the comparisons between Goodfellas and Wolf of Wall Street that a friend and I were talking about is that the moral of the story at the end of Goodfellas is that Henry Hill kind of is a degenerate and it's a horrible life. But at the end of Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort goes to tennis prison for a couple years, and then life is good.
Right.
And Paul and I and Adam have had
I'm sure that's what really happened, right?
No, it is what happened.
It is. Yeah.
And so my question to you, Mr. Braunger, is would you trade 2 years of tennis prison for everything else he's got going for him right now? I would do it in a heartbeat.
And
for that life.
and for everything he had then. For 16 years of debauchery.
So for 16 years of debauchery, you go to tennis prison for 2 years, and then after that, you parlay that into a movie about yourself.
Yes.
And you're living off the hidden money.
To me, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I would.
Yeah, most of that money's still somewhere, right?
Short answer, yes. But the thing that would always like hang over my head is like if you've done that much cocaine. You're going to have a heart attack. Like you are. There's not a question.
Yeah.
There's not you're going to get to be
that's a good call.
Late 40s, early 50s. And you're just going to be walking a field and you're just going to be like, like Brando with the oranges in his mouth. It's just going to happen. Like, whoops.
Dead before you hit the ground.
I don't want that feeling of like where I'm wandering around like, well, this could be it. Well, this could be it. Well, this could, better not get excited.
You've made the valves in your heart so thin that a sniff of citrus could send you over the edge.
Yeah. Piece of cheese, Grandpa? No, not at all. I just all I eat celery. That's all I eat now.
And hindsight is 20/20. I mean, he doesn't know he's going to tennis prison.
Yeah,
that's although he probably thinks things are going to work out pretty good for him. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's got some palm grease. He's earned some palm grease. Right?
So let's talk about your comedy career, stand-up,
okay.
Stuff like that. No, because talking about movies, do you ever want to make a movie? A lot of stand-up guys. I think Garland made one, right?
Yeah, I've got a script I've written that I'm taking out to try to get set up meetings with people that like financiers, people that have money,
nice.
like
OPM, right? Lesson number 1 in Hollywood. OPM,
other people's money.
Other people's money.
Yeah, and I don't have $2 million. There's that too. Even if I had,
easy to keep your morality on that one,
exactly.
right? To not just pay for it yourself.
OPM, because I don't have a choice. No, absolutely. But it's. I spent last year writing it, so I'm taking it out now. But yeah, I'd love to make a movie. Love to.
How'd you come around to the concept? Like, what sparked it? What was like the thing where you're like, I got or is that too much the hook?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about too much what it's
or maybe
about,
another idea then.
But
it's kind of an interesting topic.
millions of listeners steal the idea.
They're like, where can I get a movie idea?
We are
the movie guy.
Hey, Matt,
It's
they
right there in the title.
Yeah.
They don't need you. We throw out so much comic gold each week for them to rip off. There are other shows just completely
You are
stopped.
losing millions every time you do this show.
We are.
Oh, yes.
I think the real question we all want to ask, though, is that whatever this movie is or what it's about, are there parts for 3 lovable sidekicks? in it?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yes. A lot of it takes place in a high school. I can see you guys all as teachers. So, yeah. You know?
Chemistry, home ec, and Jim?
Yeah,
Okay,
son of a-
I see Jim. I see Jim
Yes.
for you,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
If you're listening, his shirt is off. I don't know.
Now, Adam and I are Chicago, and Karen, whose seat you're in, Karen Volpe is often here doing the show.
Oh, yeah, cool.
She has a rehearsal tonight, but she also Chicago-bred comedian, and you as well?
Yeah. I was actually born just outside Chicago in Evanston, and then my parents left when I was 2 years old, and I grew up in Portland, Oregon. Went to school in New York, and then went back to Chicago, and I was there for 6 years doing improv and acting, and that's where I started doing stand-up.
Where did you New York school?
Manhattanville College, which is a tiny liberal arts college, about a half an hour north of the Bronx. It's right near like White Plains. It's in Purchase.
Yeah,
New York.
No,
you
I'm
know up
from
there, right?
upstate. Yeah, I
you are?
I applied
Yeah,
to all
Paul's
of those.
from
I got
upstate.
rejected from all of those. New York School of Visual Arts, New Paltz, Purchase, yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Ended up going to Fredonia up by Buffalo. So.
Okay.
Anyway, they took me. They took
At
me
least
'cause I
yours
was-
is named after a Marx Brothers movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but that
Duck soup?
I believe so,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Duck
Fredonia?
Soup University.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Duck Soup.
Oh, nice.
But we talked beforehand about it's however your stand-up.
Right.
They got you noticed by Mad TV.
It was, yeah. I just they were looking for cast members, and I went in, and the casting lady liked me, and she kind of coached me as to what they want, and was like, oh, you got to come up with some characters and do a couple impressions. So I worked on those and just kept going and kept going in. But the thing was, Michael McDonald had left, so they needed a white tall guy.
Oh, yeah.
See that.
So myself and Eric Price got hired, and we were the only 2 white males in the entire cast, so we had to cover a lot of ground. With pop
Yeah,
culture.
that's not the problem SNL is having.
Nope. And I think about that all the time. I'm just like, wow.
Now you know what it's like to be Tim Meadows.
Yeah.
But my roommate Steve always pointed out that there was one season where Bill Murray was the only white male on Saturday Night Live, and he played every white male role.
Wow.
So it was, obviously Chevy left in the first season, but the season after Belushi and Aykroyd left, it's that whole cast and just Bill Murray as the only male cast member. So it makes it a pretty amazing season if you like Bill Murray.
I wasn't even aware of that. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Should look that season up. Mm-hmm. So as a stand-up, what kind of characters do you bring to something like that? Or
What did I do? I did this I did this guy who hangs out at the front of a gym, and when guys walk by, he tries to give them advice. Like, yeah, but he's like a schmuck. He's real bad shape. When a woman comes in, he just flexes every muscle in his body, but he's not in good shape, so he just vibrates horribly. And if a woman sits there too long, he's like, yeah, please, you should go work out, please. And then so finally a girl just sits there too long, just talking about nothing, and then he just goes into a spasm. There's that guy. There was a guy based on an amalgam of my uncles. It was one of my early bits. Who can't believe that anyone makes a living in anything performance. Where you're just like, they just got to be something else. We're like, so what do you do? Like, I'm a comedian. What? I'm a comedian. What? Like, you just keep everything's yelling.
Yeah.
So that the sketch,
God,
yeah. So
we were just talking about certain groups of people. That's all they do.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that's all they do is yell.
Just bellowing.
They don't talk ever. Whatever it is, doesn't matter the importance. They're yelling.
Yeah. So we had him. It was me and Michael Key, and I forget who else, but he was at an airport with his wife, and they were just like, well, you're gonna have to check this bag, or it's $40. Check the bag, and he just loses it, which my uncle did. It's like, no, like saying ridiculous, like I could buy a car for that money. Like, no, you can't.
You get tires.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so.
This next one is an amalgam of my uncles.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I turn around. You're up to 10. Yeah.
What's funny is like doing impersonations is actually antithetical to most comedy. You see it all. Definitely yours. I think you're more personal experience. And,
observational.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's funny that what impersonations did you do?
They had me doing Charlie Sheen at one point. They had me doing.
Now, did they request these, or these that you brought to the table and said, I can pull these off?
To bring in, I was.
Well, they were white characters that they needed done.
Okay, the obligatory Jack Nicholson. We need you to do.
No, I did ones that I knew no one else was going to do, like Wayne Newton and. God damn, what's his name? The guy who was on Law and Order CI, who was also in
Gary
Full Metal
Sinise?
Jacket. No.
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio?
Vincent D'Onofrio. How he on that show, all he does is mess with people's things. So I
Yeah?
just come in the office and just ask him, well, so you knew the victim. Like, just put that down. Like, stop grabbing things and play. That's all he does. Like, you watch that show, he just plays with everyone's stuff. And it's like, that would make me so annoyed if he just comes into my office or my home and is just taking things down, like CDs or whatever. And
Meanwhile, asking about horrible crimes.
yeah, horrible things. He's like really invasive questions as well while he's invading your space.
Yeah, because those shows rely on all the impersonations with the topical shit, like you said. So it's tough.
Well, we've started a personal hobby of finding impersonations that nobody does that would be like amazing to do. Like we just said today, because we said the RoboCop parody. Like,
yes,
does anybody do a Michael Keaton? No one does a Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And now I'm like incensed. I'm like, I want to be able to do Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I know there's a way to do it.
Peter Weller. No one does Peter Weller.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Peter
totally
Weller,
got a voice.
Yeah.
And the greatest
Your
example.
move, creep.
Pretty good.
Well, the greatest example we had was Joel Murray, who did an impersonation of his brother Bill Murray, who you never thought to
Nobody
do.
does Bill Murray.
But you can.
Wow.
He nailed it.
Because he nailed it. And Brian Doyle Murray, which is the most distinct voice
God.
that exists.
Yeah.
Yet nobody does it. And of course he nails it. He grew up with the guy.
That's great.
Makes perfect sense.
But to me, Brian Doyle is a little more obvious than Bill Murray. I mean, who thinks
Yeah, I
to
wouldn't
do...
even think of what
Somebody else
it
did,
was very laid back.
Somebody else did Super Dave Osborne.
Joel,
Like this.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do.
I think what you need to do
is learn the name of every one of these trees.
Yeah.
Joel, you have the time.
That is one wacky soap opera.
That is one nutty soap.
Is it nutty? Okay, yeah.
Oh, what a great.
I watched that this morning for my job.
Tootsie?
Yes.
Nice.
Love that movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Michael, I begged you to get therapy. That's me, Michael Dorsey.
Yes.
Oh, it's so funny. All right, well, we have to stop talking about some of the greatest movies of all time to talk about what else is opening this week.
The new greatest movie.
Yeah, will no doubt be one of the greatest movies of all
Soon
time.
to be.
Yeah. Next up, this weekend we'll produce a lot of forgettable movies, but none will be quite as forgettable as this one whose title I'm blanking on. I can't quite.
Endless Love? Is it?
Yes! Endless Love, that is it, Matt. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Endless Love. Based on the Tantric Sex Manual written by Sting and Trudy Styler, documents a 3-day orgasm the two shared in a rainforest in 1994. I'm kidding. What I really meant was, who gives a shit about this movie?
Okay. I get, like, Endless Love, jokes aside, guys. It tells the story of John Holmes, famous 70s porn star, the enormous hog, from the point of view of women who made love to him and found his love member to seemingly be without end.
Oh, yes.
I see.
Oh, Endless Love. I get it now.
I'm kidding. But what it should say is something sincere, but I got nothing. I have nothing.
Understandable. It's actually another love story. I think I got it here.
There you got it. Good.
Between
Good.
young
Somebody's
people
got it.
from different classes of society. Oh, it's another beautiful, sheltered bookworm meeting another man with a shady past. And does his past finally catch up to him?
It's a movie, isn't it?
Wait a minute, Karen is texting me again. Let's
Oh.
see. She's listening to the show at her rehearsal.
Oh, just outside the door here?
Yes. She says, "How could a guy that young have something happen to him a long time ago?" That's a good point.
yeah, very
young
astute
guys don't have
observation.
shady past.
Look, who wouldn't be interested in a forbidden love affair between the guy you forgot about from Magic Mike and the girl from, Endless Love?
She's definitely in this.
Alex Pettyfer is the guy in question. Now, he stars here as David Elliott. The character's name in the original was David Axelrod, but studio execs changed it because no one would believe a strapping young man would one day grow a mustache, gain 100 pounds, and manage Barack Obama's presidential campaign. Plus, that would put him on the same side of the tracks as the girl he's in love with.
Yes.
Their love affair is forbidden because she's from the upper class. Yeah, the upper class, and he's in this movie. But really, Lacking any Hemsworth or Tatum, we're doubtful this movie will be all that romantic. I mean,
Well, they're calling it a modern-day Romeo and Juliet. But then again, isn't every love story called a modern-day Romeo and Juliet? Because really, who remembers what happened in Romeo and Juliet? What was it really all about? They fall in love, something happens to keep them apart, they all die at the end. Oh, I guess I do remember what Romeo and Juliet was really all about.
I think I wish once, just once, one of the high society guys, sugar daddies, would wise up, excuse me, and just realize that the surefire way to stop your daughter from dating that guy from the wrong side of the tracks is to do nothing. Just do nothing about it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm glad you're meeting a, edgy guy from over there. I'm all for it. Just to, make her go, oh, wait, this is...
You've got nothing to rebel against.
There's nothing hot about this. You like him, Dad?
I'm not disappointing anybody with this move.
Well, this is either the love story of the year or a spoof movie has finally managed to come out before the actual movie.
But the question on, obviously, your mind, my mind, everybody's mind here is probably, what is the Valentine's Day message of Endless Love?
That's a good question right there.
Yeah. It seems obvious.
True love cannot be measured by how much money you have in your bank account?
Nope. It said it doesn't matter how much money you have, long as you're really pretty.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that is it's a lesson for the ages.
If movies had a message across the 100 years of its history, it's that, right? So this movie's just zeroing in.
Looks are all that matter.
Well, the royal she, never falls in love with Uggo from the wrong side of the tracks. It's always dreamy guy who cleans up nice and,
and there are a lot of rapey guys on the other side of the tracks.
Here, try my dad's tuxedo. Let's see if it fits. And all of a sudden he's gorgeous.
Yeah,
right?
well, even Shrek, you got to turn ugly like Shrek to be with Shrek.
Right?
That's the message.
That's the message.
The message is Uggos stick together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a DreamWorks message.
Why don't you?
You can't not.
That's true. She never turned back into someone a pretty human. She was devastated.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was a good message that you don't have to change. But now you're saying poor ugly guys are stuck with the ugly girls their whole life, and I feel bad for them.
You have to
now.
turn them ugly.
Yeah.
You have to mutate them to make them.
Or go under hypnosis like Shallow Hal.
Okay.
Which I thought was a really brave movie. If you watch that movie, I really liked it.
Brave?
Not heard it called Brave? Go ahead.
I thought it was a brave movie to make
What about
that
the one where
statement.
Matt Damon and what's his face are stuck together?
Stuck on you?
That is a courageous movie.
Oh, that's
There's
a courageous movie.
Slightly different tone to that one. No, I really thought that the message behind Shallow Hal was really a brave movie to make. I thought it was a really tough thing to swallow, and it's true. And I just love Tony Robbins in it. I love that they call him Banana Hands.
Yeah, that was funny.
Hold on there, Banana Hands.
Hang on, Karen is texting me from rehearsal here. She says,
Oh, yes?
Winter's Tale crosses the boundaries of time, so why isn't that movie called Endless Love? Well, that's a good point.
Oh,
You know, sometimes she's a little too deep for me.
Why can't she be that deep when she's
She's very insightful.
She's more of a Winter's Tale gal.
And they're both like the people in the movie are both so young. I think if I was dating someone, even if it's just like, oh, I love you too. If she was like, this is truly an endless love, I'd be like, we're both 22. Like, you need to relax. Look, you're getting a little clingy. I'm just saying, it's a real strong pair of words you used together.
I'm just saying it has no end, Matt.
Oh my God,
it has no end.
Why is there no lock on this side of the door? Why is this side of the door smooth?
Now I'm going to end you.
Did you have that actually when you were in your 20s? Did any of you have that?
Endless love?
Endless love? No.
Like something that went for 7, 8 years. You figure that's the one that didn't.
Oh, Jesus, no.
But
it was like all over every time. Like I would date a girl for like 7 months, and then that was over, and I was like, "That's it. I'm never gonna meet it." It's so dramatic.
Oh, you're always
the wrong
like
time to have any disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
All that drama is now captured on film for us to enjoy. Mm-hmm. All that drama. Thank you, Hollywood. Appreciate that. Did you ever have the wrong side of the tracks relationship?
No, I was the wrong side of the tracks.
You're a bad boy.
Yeah. Well, I was just poor. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But thank God I was pretty.
That's all that matters. We've gone over that.
Well, we know that. Yeah.
Looks.
And that was drilled into you at a young age, and look where it's gotten you.
Yeah, there you go. You're teaching Jim.
You're teaching Jim in a fake movie. That doesn't have it happen.
Pretty big
yet.
deal.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You're not pitching Jim Teach Us AZ, because that was my. I have a LLC that misspells things, so
mine's
kids like
Jim
them.
Teacher spelled J-I-M.
Why didn't I think of that?
It's about an all-boys school. Gym teachers, yes.
I understand.
Because the only things that succeed are titles that mean two things.
Yeah, exactly. Right? He thought he was hired to teach Jim. He was hired to replace a guy named Jim everybody likes.
Boom!
And he's supposed to, act like Jim, because Jim's been killed. So
Jim, teacher.
Yeah.
See?
And
green light.
Less love. There you go.
And Less love.
All right. So is anybody going to see this? Are we going to see this movie at all?
No, we're.
Unless I lose a bet.
No.
What are we going to see instead?
Are you married?
No.
No. I'm the only married guy. Yeah, we're not going, so fuck it.
There you go, see?
All right, so let's stop talking about that and get on to other movies we might have seen this week with a little something we call... What did you see this week?
There you go.
Nice.
I like the end.
Can you name the song that last part is from?
Something Journey. It's got to be Journey.
Close. Top Jimmy. Speaking of gyms,
No.
Van Halen. Okay.
Oh, it does sound Van Halen.
Anyway, I'm stealing audio. There you go. I've announced it for the world. There,
Go ahead and admit that.
All right. So you think about that when you buy this podcast for nothing. What did you see this week? I put to the table.
I saw Dallas Buyers Club.
How is it?
I saw that.
It was a very good movie. I saw it twice because I rented it at home on the in-demand.
Oh, and you create your own TBS experience by just playing it all day long,
Exactly.
right?
Just
Let
let
it pause it every once in a while as if there's a commercial.
Yep. I clean the house. I go out and get groceries. I come back. It's still playing, and I finally, after 48 hours, filtered through the whole thing. Yeah. No, I actually really enjoyed it, and it's
Got AIDS. They don't have AIDS.
Yeah, it's a very economical movie. It's one of those movies that has, and I wish I could remember. There's another movie out there that I recently saw that did this, where the scenes are just kind of representations of what you need to know to move the plot along, and it's a style that I've seen before that I really enjoy. But what I do like about Ron Woodruff, right? That's his character's name.
Yeah,
I believe so. Who's the guy that rides around town in that crazy Pinto with all the decorations?
Oh, that's
on it?
Dennis Woodruff.
Thank you. Ron Woodruff is correct.
Thank you.
Continue.
I may have been thinking of Dennis. He's just a very principled man. And I always admire that.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with his structure and his principles or not, he has a very definite worldview, and things make sense inside of it or outside of it, and he knows how to act and behave and respond based on that.
Right.
Hank Hill is the same. The same way on King of the Hill. I find that about that character. He's got his principles. He's going to live his life by those guidelines. And that makes everything a little easier for him to decide. I can't make any decisions because I have no idea what's right or wrong. I'm like, maybe I could do this. Maybe I can get away with that. Maybe I should do this. And
Bring Daddy an AIDS cocktail.
Bobby, you can't marry a plastic head.
My
King of the Hill, brave show, by the way.
So brave.
more, actually, to be honest, daring. More of a daring show.
Yes. More courageous. My problem with that movie is it was real real one-dimensional, where the characters were to me, like the Jennifer Garner character, angelic woman, like a
just
school
all
teacher.
heroic. Everybody's all heroic.
No. What, is she married? What is her life like? Nothing. The doctor at the hospital trying to shut them down, evil.
Pure good, pure evil.
Yeah, it's just kind of. Other than that, no, I enjoyed that movie too.
Yeah, you haven't seen it? You were
No.
way behind on your Oscar
I am
movies,
so
man. You got
behind.
like
It's
5
out
or
of
so.
control behind. I'm embarrassed. I'm completely embarrassed. If I weren't doing other things, if I were just not watching movies and also doing nothing, then that'd be. But I've been.
If I was, having a life or something.
I actually watched this one movie over and over and over because I was doing a behind-the-scenes video for it, which is like a feature film from that company I used to work for in Chicago. Yes. They made a film called No God, No Master with David Strathairn and Ray Wise. I got to edit from Twin Peaks and RoboCop. He was one of the bad guys in RoboCop originally. But anyway, so I watched that like over and over, and I did this behind the scenes editing of it and made the film look unbelievable. I mean, I'm extremely proud.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I if I were to watch the movie No God No Master, I would say there's this movie out there called that. But now that I watch the behind the scenes that I've edited along with Charlie, my roommate, there's this excellent film called No God No Master out there.
Yeah, it should be straight to theaters, and now it's straight to video.
Well, you should see this making of. This thing it's like history written in lightning.
That's all I'll see. I'm not even going to watch the movie. How's that? I'll just watch the behind the scenes.
Watch the behind the scenes.
All right, I will. Anybody else see anything?
Gravity. I finally.
I gotta see it. It's back in theaters, right?
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
You saw it in 3D? Is it still in 3D in theaters?
I did see it in 3D.
Okay, all right.
IMAX?
No.
Okay, so I
Same
still
here.
got a chance to go see it.
Yeah, totally.
Cool, and it's lived up to the.
Yeah, it was really, really incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I liked if you find it. Louis C.K. was on some morning radio thing, or they had a camera on him or something, and he's talking about problems with it, and it's really like he nails stuff I didn't think of that are very funny.
Okay,
but I'll let you see the movie and find that too.
Yeah.
Doesn't it break your heart a little bit when right.
Yeah.
But I love him, and I can't even be mad at him anyway.
And the thing is, it's just he didn't say the movie was terrible, but he was
Right,
just like, this is bullshit. This is, that I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm a tremendously uncynical movie viewer. Certainly my first time. Like I really just to a degree turn my brain off and I'm like, I'm blindly accepting everything that's going to happen here until it really like sticks a middle finger in my face a couple times. I'm like, all right, fuck you, movie, you know?
Yeah.
But like there's movies like Dark Knight, Batman Dark Knight. I remember like, of course, that movie is like history written in lightning. But somebody wrote an article about all the holes in it. And as I went through and read it, I was just like, you know what? Directing is a confidence game, and Nolan completely won because he sells all of that. He sells Inception.
Yeah.
There was another. Silver Linings Playbook. That is a confidence game of a movie that just falls right apart.
Oh yeah.
It's a
that
dance
confidence
film
game,
otherwise. Right?
Yeah, but I mean that's like what good directing is. It's the confidence game. I think it really like it convinces you. It's like even a good movie like Goodfellas. It's a better movie because it's like you said, it's sewing you into the next scene, into the next scene, into the next scene, and that's like that sort of like confident, like with its story and everything. Anyway, so I always think of directing. Good directing is a confidence game.
Good point.
You could take
Good
like
point.
a movie that makes no sense.
How did he get all those explosives on the ferries? Shut up.
Shut up! I don't want to see that scene.
Oh no. If you get into that, it's like the Joker is a logistical champion. Like there's no way. Like the stuff he did. Like even just having. Okay, so I have time to turn around and say to this guy, I forget the line he says to the guy before he puts the gas bomb in his mouth, and still can drive a truck perfectly into a line of other truck, school buses, I should say.
And the fact that the one came in behind him when it did, right after he put the bomb in the guy's mouth.
Yeah, and that guy wasn't like, hey, that school bus just drove out of a bank.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy,
that's odd. I should report that.
I should phone this in. That guy, no, he looks normal.
You know what? I don't want to be a hard-on.
See something, say something. That's what I say.
That's right.
Right? See something, say something.
That's what they say at banks.
At bank.
Yeah. Right.
School bus drivers, they don't snitch. You know that. If that movie works at all,
that guy just dropped a bank. I'm going to let him keep that.
Hey.
Man, school bus drivers
He's
forever.
driving a school bus, so whatever. I don't care if he murdered everyone in that bank.
He's a school bus driver till he dies.
Good enough for me.
Just like me.
Good enough for me.
The yellow code.
Okay, our next segment is a little something we call 5 Questions for Other Guests, and I was just looking through my my QLab software here for the
It's not Q900 of the show.
I don't have it. It's
You
not
missed
here.
one?
So we're going to have to make do. 5 questions.
I got you covered.
What's the segment?
Please.
Go.
Five
questions.
Questions for other guests.
There you go. Outstanding. So,
and I think he goes at the end.
yeah. I was wanting to write a rap song. This is called Yeah, what? And then just say those things over and over again to some funky DJ beat.
That's good.
All right, so Matt Braunger, these are questions for other guests, but since you're here, we're going to put them to you. And,
Sounds good.
Feel free to answer them for us. After achieving such fame and success with movies like Transformers, how long do you plan to maintain your anti-celebrity campaign?
Oh, wow.
And are there any more treats in store for us?
I obviously have my apology gallery set up right now.
Yes.
On Beverly Boulevard.
Hashtag I am sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Come by and, spit in my face, whatever you feel like doing.
Is that what the bag is for?
Well, that's initially, yeah.
Can I lift the bag up before I spit?
I didn't know what it said. Somebody wrote something on it before I left for that premiere.
Oh, no shit.
And then I saw it on the news. Oh, that's what you wrote? You jerk. Listen, I am still famous. Okay? I don't care what you say. I'm the boof.
You were just going for a perfectly good evening on the town with a bag on your head.
That's right.
And then some guy who writes something.
I'm not famous anymore. I was pretending to be the unknown comic from the 80s. Anyone?
Who's still perfectly famous.
Yes.
Matt, I was wondering, what is the most annoying thing about your hotel in Sochi?
Oh, man. Probably the trough that goes between rooms that we all evidently have to pee in.
Hadn't heard about this.
Yeah, and not even to use, have to pee in. Do it and whatever they say in Russian.
That's also how the rooms are heated, though, right? The urine, the heat from the urine exchanger.
Hot urine heats all the rooms.
It's healthy. It's organic.
What do they have to feed you to make sure your urine is hot? Especially hot. Borscht. It's going to be 98.6 anyway.
Just so much borscht. So much borscht stew.
Matt Braunger, or whoever we were hoping would be here for this question. Of all your adopted children, which one do you find sexiest?
You pick any of the Asians and throw a dart. I mean, the smooth skin, You know, not something I'm into, but I keep an open mind. You know, I mean, don't go near my kids, but you know, if we're talking real. You know, yeah, got to go with any of the Asians. But Brad would probably punch you if you asked him. My husband, Brad.
Actually, what I was wondering is, now that you've come out, what team do you think is most likely to draft you? In other words,
know that please don't. This is not a euphemism you're using, right?
No,
what
just
team. Because I've had a lot of interviews about my situation where I'm just like, look, you know,
what team are you playing for?
I'll be like Cowboys, and all I hear is snickering. It's like, look, I don't mean the Bears. I get it.
Okay, all
the
right,
Bears,
all right.
right? Yeah, like hairy gay men.
Look,
like
I'd
me.
like to actually
I'm a
be
hairy
drafted,
gay man.
right?
As a Bear, I'd like to join the Bears. No, I'd probably Tampa Bay.
Okay, that was great.
All right, well, let's see. We got one more for you, as it is 5 questions. Who will you hurry to thank as you're being played off during your acceptance speech at the Oscars?
Oh boy. My gardener Eduardo. Just hey, thanks, and lay off on the leaf blower, okay? And stop sleeping with my daughter. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Excellent.
Five questions. The best part about that is normally I don't even play it as an outro, but
I always thought
since I didn't have it, I've heard it twice.
No,
that's great.
Hey,
that's great. The thing, little
we weave it like a quilt. It's like improv. You make a mistake, you weave it into the quilt,
There you
right?
go, yes.
There's some yes-anding going on. Right
well, let's go out big. Now, if you're going to go out big, you go out with karaoke, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So we
That's
have
what they say.
creepy 80s karaoke specifically, all right? So if you remember earlier in the show,
yes, I do.
we played the creepy songs from the 80s that are like the one you hear in Endless Love. So let's just get a little bit of that. Actually, let me play a little bit of the Endless Love clip one more time.
Lights are on.
All right, David. What about your future plans?
I don't need much. Just a nice girl to come home to.
But you're not home.
Doesn't it sound like someone might get murdered at any moment?
Any
in this
second
movie?
now.
I know.
A hatchet through the head.
And
Just
what kind of
realized
trailer
what the
is it?
song that they're covering.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but we've got a few here that.
Addicted to love.
So go ahead and pick one, and who wants to go first? Just pick one, and we'll do our own version of creepy songs.
Braunger, which one did you pick? What do you dibs?
I guess I'll do Unskinny Bop.
Unskinny Bop, Poison. It's a hip tune, a rock song from the 80s, but it sounds a little different when it's creepy. Here we go.
What's got you so jumpy? Why can't you sit still? Yeah. Like gasoline. You wanna pump me? Leave me when you get your fill. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
I think I speak for everyone when I say those are the words to Unskinny Bop.
Right?
Gasoline analogies?
I'm sorry, yeah, if you're not saying the title of the song, I don't even know what the hell song you're
no
singing.
idea.
Unskinny Bop, as we all know, is a song about having sex with overweight women. That's hence the term Unskinny Bop.
Unskinny. Yes.
Sung by white guys.
Yeah.
The opposite.
Just saying. All right.
We're all the same, you guys. We're all the same.
We're all the same. Yeah, we all love big.
Unity.
Yeah.
Unity.
What do you got? Who's next?
I'll do It Don't Mean Nothing.
It Don't Mean Nothing. Richard Marx.
'Cause it don't mean nothing, the words that you say. Don't
I think it's funny. That. All right, great job.
Nothing.
You can kick it up.
Really scary, though.
Well, I was hoping for a little more instrumental behind me. But
Here, I'm gonna do a little. I just died in your arms tonight because those are creepy lyrics anyway. And then, but make them creepy. They sound like this. Oh, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms. That's creepy.
And we're gonna re-edit this like a K-tel. Like, you'll get creepy songs from the 80s. You'll get Private Eyes. I'm going to do Private Eyes. Private Eyes. They're wild. watching you. They see your every move. Private eyes. They're watching you. Private eyes. They're watching you. Watching you. Watching you. Watching you.
All right, gets a little bit.
Yeah.
You also hear?
That was dark.
You can get a little Rex.
And who could forget?
And who could forget?
You can get a little Rex Harrison if you're not careful with these, where you just speak all the words instead of sing them.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's time for a big sing-along. It's the end of the world as we know it as we take out the
Well,
Showcast,
this is
ladies
a
and gentlemen.
group sing-along.
Yes, you guys.
Creepy sing-along.
You guys do that, and I will do the end credits for the show. So
Okay,
here you
ready?
go. Knock yourselves out.
Well, who's going to set the tone?
I will.
Okay.
I have a hurricane. Then somebody else do
Okay,
this.
you wanna do a
We'll go
round?
around. Let's do a round.
Okay.
Ready?
Every
Ready?
comment.
Ready? Here we go.
This is exactly how REM
got it.
figured out how it was going to go.
I have a hurricane.
Listen to yourself, churn.
World serves its own needs.
Don't misserve your own needs.
All right, that wraps another
Speed
movie
it up a
Showcast,
notch.
everybody. Follow us at
Speed.
The Movie Guys on Twitter.
No.
Strength.
The
Facebook.com/The
ladder
Movie
starts
Guys.
to clatter
as well as
with
YouTube,
fear of
iTunes,
height.
SoundCloud,
Down.
Vine,
Height.
Instagram,
Wire in a
Google+,
fire.
LinkedIn, all that shit.
Represent the 7 games.
Thanks to Matt Braunger,
And
everybody,
a government
for
for
coming to the
hire.
show. Matt, what do you got coming up? What can we plug?
When will this air?
Laughter wasn't coming in a hurry.
I'm sorry, what?
When will this air?
Fury's
Sorry.
grinning
Oh,
down your
tomorrow.
neck.
Tomorrow? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay then. I'll be at the Traverse City Festival in Traverse City, Michigan this weekend. So
right.
if you're there, come by, or Vancouver or Northwest Festival in Vancouver next weekend.
Cool.
So, for those listeners in the Northwest.
That's the plane
Nice.
he's got to catch to get off to play with Michael Moore, which I'm envious of.
That is
He's
pretty cool.
I dig on him a lot.
Neat.
Nice.
And Karen's production of Me and My Girl is in Glendale Center Theater and opens up on Valentine's Day, runs for 7 weeks, but she'll be back in studio next week. And thanks also to Steve Scholes for his writing contributions to the show every week. And remember, you can find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net.
One last thing.
Thanks for
Bronger's got a podcast.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
Ding Donger.
with
Named by Matt Dwyer.
Ding Donger with Matt
Friend of the show.
Braunger. It's on the
Friend of
Nerdist
the show.
Network. So 15-minute podcast.
15-minute podcast. In and out. Boom.
Bang.
Yeah.
Cool. And
good.
the concept?
Basically, I hitchhike along into your iPod or car for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
just hang out and try to make you laugh, and then I leave. That's it.
Yeah, it begins by saying, thanks for giving me a ride, and ends with, this is my stop, right?
This is me.
All right, that's the show. Thanks for listening.
All right.
It's the end of the world.
As we know it. And I feel fine.